Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of NWA Wrestling Revolution Ringside Series, the series of ringside action. This year is Jeremy Medrano, and tonight we got ourselves a number one contenders match for the South Texas Championship as we got the Bounty Hunter, Pete Paine, going one-on-one with the Guardian of Darkness, Ray Knyte. Ray Knyte just got sent to the apron and got sent to the floor, surprisingly by a drop kick by the Bounty Hunter himself. Well, so much for my hopes of seeing a flying Bounty Hunter. But we do have a shoulder block to the midsection, followed by a forearm by Ray Knyte. And that's followed by a big boot to the face by the man who guards the darkness of NWA Wrestling Revolution. Now the winner of this matchup will face Jim Justice for the South Texas Championship. And we just saw a big leg drop by Ray. Here we go, we got a cover. We got a 1. We got a 2, but we only get a 2 count. Now the question is, which one of these two warriors will go on to face our current South Texas champion? Huge, massive suplex by Mr. Paine. Now we have Ray Knyte, who's a former South Texas champion. Not only that, but he's a Triple Crown winner, so he knows a thing or two about holding championships, as we just saw a second massive suplex. Courtesy of Pete Paine, of course. Very nonchalant cover there by the Bounty Hunter. Now, of course, that's not going to get him the win. He doesn't want to underestimate Ray Knyte, because as I mentioned, he's a Triple Crown winner, including holding that South Texas Championship once before, and he wants to join the rankings of one James Dante, of JC Valentine, Michael Autumn, and even our current South Texas champion, Jim Justice, and all the other two-time South Texas champions in that two-timers club in the South Texas title division. Now, to me, no matter who wins this matchup, it's going to be a very interesting matchup nonetheless. Because one, you have Ray Knyte, who knows a thing or two about holding championships, as I've mentioned before, and he's gone one-on-one with Jim Justice numerous times in the past. So that is going to be an interesting contest. And then on the other end, you have Pete Paine, whose association with Jim Justice has been very well documented, even in their days, especially in their days of the Dogs of War. Now, outside the surface, it may look like it may not be a fair matchup because of the partnership between Pete and Jim, given if Pete does win this matchup. Now, on the outside, it may look like it may not be fair, and it may be an easy matchup for Jim, as we just saw a clothesline by Ray Knyte. Now, Ray fighting back with some clotheslines. Let's see here. Ray sizing up Pete, looking for a Knight Rider, but Kit was nowhere to be found thanks to a powerbomb by Pete Paine. Now Pete, this time, a much better cover, this time having his weight on top of Ray Knyte, but Ray still fighting out. And speaking of putting weight on top of Ray, I don't know how Ray is going to breathe after that, but man, this Pete is so vicious. So vicious. Now, as I was saying, with the association with Pete and Jim, it may look like it's going to be an easy win for Jim. However, ever since Dante planted that thought of Pete winning a championship in the NWA Wrestling Revolution, even if it is at the expense of his Dog of War tag team partner, I don't know. It looks like Pete may set his sights on winning the South Texas Championship for the very first time in his very short career in the NWA Wrestling Revolution. But we'll just have to wait and see how this matchup turns out. And now it's Pete doing the sizing up. And we got a big side suplex. And we got a big belly-to-back suplex by Mr. Bounty Hunter. And now Pete working the lower back of Ray Knyte. Now, I said don't underestimate Ray Knyte when it comes to big matchup situations, but the same thing can be said for Pete Paine. Just because he hasn't had a very long career in the NWA Wrestling Revolution, he's showing right here in this matchup that he can go toe-to-toe with the best of them. And if he plays his cards right, it could lead up to being the #1 contender for the South Texas title. Huge splash in the corner by Pete Paine. Goes for it again, but this time Ray Knyte moves out of the way, and Pete eats nothing but turnbuckles. There we go. We got an Irish whip to the corner. What's Ray gonna do here? Now a charge of his own, running the ropes, but Pete fights back with a huge clothesline of his own. And now it looks like both Warriors are already spent. As Dave is making the count here. Now, if both Warriors are counted out, I think it's safe to assume that none of these Warriors will become #1 contender, which will be a good thing for Jim. But we still got a cover, but only a 2 count, unfortunately, for the bounty hunter. And that would truly be the ultimate bounty for Pete Paine, that South Texas title. Big slam there to the corner of the ring. And it looks like Pete is sizing Ray up for that huge bomb of pain. But he gets nothing but canvas. All right, this is Ray's opportunity. Let's see if he's going to take advantage. And now Ray generating the crowd of the NWA Wrestling Revolution. The Eradicator by the Guardian of Darkness. And we got us the #1 contender.
Championship, the Guardian of Darkness, Ray Knyte.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Knyte is once again the #1 contender for the South Texas Championship. So it'll be Ray Knyte one-on-one with Jim Justice for the South Texas Championship. All right, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Ringside Series. We'll see you next time.
This is Holiday from the other side of darkness.
And this is Thunder Rosa from the graveyards of Tijuana, Mexico.
Make sure to catch NWA Wrestling Revolution every Friday.
Here in El Cine El Rey in McAllen, Texas. Let's get twisted, sister.